whenever we're talking about something on the air, it's my job to make sure that the people on the air, everybody in the room, has a copy of what's going on so they could touch it, feel it, whatever the case is. In this case, we were talking about Charmin, the arrival of toilet paper to our station, which we hadn't seen in weeks. So,
Your Honor, I know what toilet paper feels like. I don't need a
No,
phone at my
apparently
head.
he thinks that you haven't seen it in a very long time and that you've missed it.
This is the plaintiff, Carolina Bermudez. She says she and the defendant are on-air radio personalities on Elvis Duran and the Morning Show, and something terrible happened during a show they were doing. For some reason, the defendant threw a roll of toilet paper at her. It missed and knocked her water bottle into her spanking new Apple laptop computer. The thing's fried now, and the defendant doesn't seem to think he owes her the money to fix it. She's suing for $3,724.93 for a new computer and data recovery. This is the defendant, Scary Jones. He says he gently tossed the toilet paper to the plaintiff, and it did knock over her water bottle. But everyone knows you shouldn't have any liquids located anywhere near electronics, because accidents can and do happen. The plaintiff refuses to take responsibility for her role in it, and he's looking forward to having the judge decide once and for all who's right. He's accused of having terrible aim.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Everybody's talking about the Honorable Marilyn Milian, the hottest judge on television. Real cases, real litigants. Here in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated and come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Carolina Bermudez, you are suing Scary Jones, one of your cohorts on the Elvis Duran in the Morning Show.
Yes.
And I can see each of you came loaded for bear with your own teams. You're suing him because during one of your morning tapings, according to you, he ended up damaging your Apple computer, your
Yes.
laptop. All right, tell me what happened.
Well, I was out of the studio for a commercial break, and we had come back from the commercial. I walked into the studio, and I wasn't even aware of what was going on. We had received a shipment of toilet paper from Charmin as a gift to us.
Charmin sent you a
Yes.
a shipment of toilet paper as a gift.
Yes, because...
Well, some people have all the luck.
Right.
All right.
because
Okay.
the cutbacks in our company are so bad. So anyway...
Wait, because the cutbacks in your
Yes.
company are so bad?
Yes. We didn't have toilet paper for weeks in our bathrooms.
How did Charmin know?
'Cause
What do
we
they have, like a
talked
direct
about it.
pipeline to you? How do they know? Because you talked about it.
We talked about it on the air.
So you guys were talking about it on the air.
Yes.
And somebody at the Charmin company figures out this will be cute, and so they send you some toilet paper.
Exactly. And so I walked back into the studio, and he had a roll of the toilet paper. Scary Jones, the defendant.
Okay.
And he said, "Hey, Carolina, think fast," something to that effect. I didn't even know what was going on. My computer, which was open at my station, all of us have laptops in that studio, and all of us have drinks or food near them. And so he came in, he threw the Charmin at me, and I didn't even know what was going on. And so then my water, which the cap was screwed on, but not all the way tightly, it went over and it spilled onto the computer keyboard.
Okay.
So then he told me, flip it over really quick. I flipped it over. There was water
All this
coming
is
out
on
of
the
it.
air?
All of this is on the air. And we're trying to keep our show going, but I'm also worried about my computer. It was plugged in at the time.
Is this your personal computer?
This is both work and personal. Yes.
So
and
do you have, what kinds of things do you have on it?
I have video. I have another job as well. So I have video files of the work that I do for In Touch Weekly that I do on television shows. I also had my demo on there, various personal pictures, professional pictures, my headshots.
Do you have this stuff backed up somewhere?
Unfortunately, no. This computer...
Yeah, nobody thinks about that until they have to think about it, at which point it's too late to think about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
No
Your
external
Honor.
hard drive, you didn't back it up anywhere, so your whole life is on the computer.
The kit and caboodle, everything. And so when the water was spilled on it, I let the water drain out that night. He suggested that I put a hairdryer to it. In the studio, he said, you know what, it's my fault. I didn't have time that day.
On the air?
Not on the air,
Okay.
in the studio, but I do have a witness that heard him say that.
Okay, he says it's my fault.
He said, don't worry about it, it's my fault. I'll take it into Apple for you since you don't have time tonight to go and do it, and I'll get it taken care of, is what he said.
So did you take it into Apple?
Yes, I
Mr.
did.
Jones?
I waited for about 2 hours. I took her computer to Apple. Then I ended up leaving it there because one of the other Mac geniuses wanted to go to work on it, see if they could salvage it.
That's literally their title, Mac Genius.
Yes.
Okay.
And a couple of days later, over the weekend, they called and said, "We're sorry, but the motherboard is fried. It's going to be about $800 to repair."
Okay, now, did they give you something in writing that it would cost $800 to repair? Because I
Yes.
can't help but notice that she's suing for $1,900 and change for a brand new Thin Air. Is that what you got?
It's a MacBook Air. I actually
MacBook
have
Air.
all of the
So
documents.
she wants to get a new one. Did you get something in writing from them that it would cost $800 to fix?
Yes. She did, actually.
Oh,
They sent
wait.
it to her.
Why don't you ask her if she'll help you prove your case? All right, can I have it? Let's see. She
actually-
got to work with you in the morning, so maybe she will. Hold on.
I actually got two estimates for the hard drive, the data recovery, and this is the one that they gave me at Apple. This is just for the work on the motherboard, and then this is the cost for a brand new computer.
Okay. Now, but what you are suing for is $3,724.
Yes, ma'am.
And that breakdown is you want a brand new computer.
Yes.
Which you would only get if you can't fix your computer. So you can't get this is assuming that I find you liable. We haven't even gotten into your side of the case, so hold on. But just you understand that you can't get a brand new computer if you can fix it for $800. You don't get $1,900 in court.
Well, ma'am, the $800 to fix it, that's only to fix the motherboard. That's not for the data recovery. The
Right.
data recovery
Okay,
is
but you're
18.
suing for both. You're suing for 18. Let me see exactly how you've done this. You're suing for $1,900 for a computer plus $1,800 for data recovery.
Yes.
So if you can fix it for $800 plus $1,800 in data recovery, you would never, in any planet, get $3,724. You following?
absolutely.
All right, now let's talk to you, Mr. Jones. What's
Yes.
going on? What's your theory on this? First of all, why are you pelting people with toilet paper
Okay.
roll?
Well, first of all, I'm the executive producer, and I'm also on the air. And
So are you sort of her boss or no?
well, you know, we're
Not really.
equals. We're just kind of equals on the show. But anyway, whenever we're talking about something on the air, it's my job to make sure that the people on the air, everybody in the room, has a copy of what's going on so they could touch it, feel it, whatever the case is. In this case, we were talking about Charmin's, the arrival of toilet paper to our station, which we hadn't seen in weeks. So.
Your Honor, I know what toilet paper feels like. I don't need it
No,
thrown at my
apparently he
head.
thinks that you haven't seen it in a very long time and that you've missed it.
So
Okay.
I gently, in an underhanded way,
Underhanded?
like a softball toss, I tossed her the toilet paper.
That wasn't a Freudian slip, right?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, go ahead.
And I did not pelt her with it, and I have a witness who saw the whole thing.
Okay.
Scotty B. He will tell you exactly what he saw and how I gently threw it to her.
Hold on.
And then the water bottle fell over. She says the cap was screwed
You
on.
gently threw it to her for what purpose?
Because we were talking about it
I mean,
on
she
the
wasn't
air.
heading to the bathroom.
We were talking about it on the air.
Right.
And plus, the culture of our environment in our room, on our air, is the fact that this is what we do on the air. We toss stuff to each other.
Well,
we
let's
don't
talk
work
about
in
that.
a
How
normal
often
orbit.
do you, quote, toss stuff to each other?
All day. It
All
depends
day
on
long,
what it
you're
is.
pelting each other with stuff.
Yeah, we work in a fraternity house pretty much. It's a
No,
radio station.
I understand. I know how casual it is. I listen to
It's
the
a-
morning radio show. Okay, just what I want
We're
to
wacky, we're
understand
zany.
is how often are you physically throwing stuff?
Please don't throw the Charmin. The testimony continues.
Let's put it this way. She should have how do I explain myself?
Partial
No,
liability or
no.
complete liability?
She said she
You
screwed
think
up.
any of this is your fault?
Time out.
No, you time out. No, wait. We're not on the morning show. Let me explain that. When you're wearing the black dress, you can call the timeout. Right now, I'm calling the timeout, baby.
Plaintiff does a radio show with the defendant. While they were on the air, the defendant threw a roll of toilet paper at her. It missed and knocked a water bottle into the plaintiff's computer, which had her life inside. He says show and tell is part of the gig. Let's listen.
I'll toss her a soda. I'll toss her, I don't know. I mean, a couple of times a week. I don't know.
Would you say that's accurate?
Rarely do we ever throw. We have millions of dollars worth of equipment in
Well,
that room.
and that's why I'm asking, because you're in a DJ booth with a lot of equipment. Some of it belongs to you and some of it doesn't. So how often do people have open water bottles next to electronic equipment?
My theory is that A, she shouldn't have had the water bottle next to electronic equipment to begin with, and B, she shouldn't have. Let's put it this way: she should have. How do I explain myself?
Partial liability or complete liability?
She said she screwed
You think
up.
any of this is your fault?
Time out.
No, time out. No, wait. We're not on the morning show. Let me explain something. When you're wearing the black dress, you can call the timeout. Right now, I'm calling the timeouts, baby.
Okay.
All right, so
Your
listen
Honor.
to me. Is it your position that she is entirely liable, it's all her fault? Or is it your position that you're a little bit at fault and she's a little bit at fault?
At first, I thought it was my position that we were both at fault. I told her I would meet her halfway. But then she said, I'm not paying a nickel for this. And we're friends.
So she got witchy on you, so now it's not your
So
fault?
now I said, you know
your
what?
liability changes depending on whether she's nice?
I said, all right, screw that. Take me to court if that's how you feel. I mean, I'm not going to pay a dime because she was being a diva to me. And honestly, I don't need that. She said she screwed the cap on straight. If the cap was screwed on properly, it would have properly absorbed the blow of the toilet paper, and when the water fell over, nothing would have come out.
No, that's true, but that's a little like saying that if the guy in front of you had run the yellow light like he coulda, you wouldn't have rear-ended him, and therefore you shouldn't have to pay for the damages to the car. Yeah, he coulda kept going, but he didn't. He did something, he did something else that if he also has a right to do that, if he has a right to stop at a yellow light, then you can't say I'm not responsible for the rear end because he stopped at a yellow light.
But if I'm
hold on. See, here's the thing. A lot of those DJ booths or audio booths will have a rule: no liquid. And it's not to help you in your own personal computer.
That is an unspoken rule in our room.
Well, unspoken. I mean, don't you guys have a rule? You're gonna now. I know you're gonna now.
Everybody still has them by their.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, I mean today, a perfect example. People always. He has a water bottle by his computer. Bottle of seltzer.
Do you have a water bottle by the
He has
electronic
a bottle of seltzer.
or electronical equipment? Do you?
Bottle of seltzer.
Yes.
My electronics.
Do you have a water bottle by your electronics?
Yeah, sometimes.
So then tell me how this unspoken rule is something she needed to live
If
by.
if she threw a toilet paper roll at me and it
You put
spilled,
your big boy
I would
pants on and you wouldn't sue her.
I would not. I would no. You know what? I would at least meet her halfway. I think that's the goodwill
Let me
thing.
ask you a question. What do your viewers say? Not that obviously.
Oh, I have
I'm just
that.
curious. Do you?
I
Because
agree
you guys
with
have
me.
made this into an issue on the show, right?
Oh
sure
yeah,
have. I
they
have
agree
three-
with me, by the way. And Your Honor,
No, that's
may
not true. That is, I object.
No.
I have 3 pages. I have 3 pages of text messages here.
What? Just the? No. Apparently, you don't watch People's Court very much. You don't actually approach the bench.
Oh.
Let me introduce you to Douglas McIntosh.
Hi, how are you? How are you?
Your Honor, may I say something while
Tell you,
I was
these are-
giving that to you?
Hand that to Douglas quietly, if it's in your Constitution, and go ahead.
And Your Honor, I wasn't in the studio when this was all going on, so it wasn't even like I was a part of the banter.
Wait.
or the
What do you mean you
play.
weren't in the studio? I thought you said he threw it at you.
I walked into the studio
Right.
once the commercial break was over. They were already talking. And so when I walked in, they had already started the discussion about the Charmin.
On the air.
Yeah,
And then when you
exactly.
walked in, he said...
He threw it at me.
What
I
did
had
he
no
say?
idea.
What did he say when
he
he
was
did-
like, hey, Carolina, think fast, or something
Think
to
fast.
that effect, and threw it at me. And I'm just walking in. I have no idea that Charmin sent us all these bags of toilet paper. I don't even know what they're talking about. So for me, I was completely caught off guard. At least if I were in the studio, it would have been a different story,
Your
because
Honor?
then I could have, played around with him. But this was completely unexpected.
Did he treat her like poo? Will she get more than $3,700? Judge Millie on Rules, next. And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin outside the Times Square Information Center. You guys listen to Z100, 100.3 FM? You guys listen? Here's the deal. So the question is the defendant responsible for the water bottle hitting the computer and blah, blah, blah?
Yes, he sure is responsible. He should have never threw the toilet paper. That was like acting very immature. You don't throw things around.
Yeah, but what if that's the gift, huh?
That's what they do. They do that all the time. He should pay half, she should pay half. No one keeps water near their computer.
Everybody knows if your life's in a laptop, you back up your computer.
So it's her fault not to back it up?
That important, it should have been backed up.
Interesting points of view going inside the courtroom.
The point that she's making is she wasn't part of the discussion. She didn't see that you were tossing, the toilet paper up in the air. She didn't have a chance to plan for this novel thing, cute thing you were gonna. She walks in and then you toss it softly, and then this causes all this. She wasn't part of it. She didn't see you playing with the toilet paper roll. She wasn't part of it to brace herself. What is your response to that?
My response is that she should be held accountable to some degree of not screwing the water on properly, the top on properly, and having water in front of the computer to begin with.
Why should I do that? Why should I hold her responsible for that when A, there's no written rule on it, and B, you violate it every day according to, is there anybody here who's, you admit that you have a water bottle next to the station's electronic equipment, okay? Let me ask you a question. The recovery estimate, let me see the recovery estimate that you got.
I handed it to you.
You did already? Hold on
yes.
1 second.
It's an email form.
An email, okay.
Yes.
It says here the cost of recovering data from a water damaged hard drive is $1,800. Now, if they do not recover it, there is no charge. But you haven't attempted to have it recovered.
No.
Which may or may not work. Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones. When was the last time you threw something in there, and what was it?
I cannot recall.
Oh. Does anybody else recall the last time you threw something? Food, I'm sure. Food, you're sure? Okay.
Actually, Your Honor, Skiri and Dave Brody are the ones who are supposed to be minding the room as executive producers, but he's throwing things at people and having fun, so.
Okay, but listen.
It was my job at that moment to toss her the toilet paper.
No, that wasn't your job. It was what you decided to do, okay? You do know that you are in this kind of environment. That's what you thrive on.
Yes.
This is fun. This is a great gig for you. This is a wonderful job. And you know that there's a lot of joking around. That doesn't mean that she expects a roll of toilet paper to be thrown in when she's walking right in and she doesn't have a chance to brace herself or move stuff around or whatever else. It's an accident. He didn't come at you with a baseball bat. It's not an assault. It's a roll of toilet paper. Mm-hmm. But then the question becomes who's liable for what happened. And stuff happened, the thing got damaged. So is it like he says that you're partially liable, he's partially liable? Or is it like you say that he's completely liable because you didn't have a chance to brace yourself? There is no written rule. Everybody has water next to the electronics, and you didn't do anything to deserve it. And I have to tell you that I think it's like she says. I just feel that, and it's not on purpose. That's why they call it, it's an accident. It's not a deliberate, malicious thing on your part. Of course, not offering to pay for any of it later is a little bit deliberate and malicious because you say she's a diva, but I get it, So it's not, although it's not intentional, the consequences are no less what they are. Now, you don't get to be greedy and get a brand new computer on a year-old computer. Mm-hmm. You get to fix it. That's the measure of damages in court are your repair costs and what you're out. So if you're out $1,800 to recover it because they're able to recover it, then you get that $1,800. But if you are out nothing because they can't recover it, that part of your lawsuit is a different inquiry. Okay. It's okay, what is this stuff worth? What is it that she's out? What kind of livelihood has she been prevented from doing? How about that she should have had it backed up? That's a whole separate part of your case that I can't rule on until we know if it got recovered. So here's what I'm inclined to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rule in your favor right now it's actually $755 from Mac to fix it. Mm-hmm. I am going to continue the other part of your case, the part where we don't know yet, because it's so soon, we don't know yet whether the $1,800 ends up recovering it or you don't spend $1,800. We're going to continue that. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm going to sever that. I'm not ruling on that right now. Okay. As for the actual damages, I do find that you don't have liability under these particular circumstances where everyone has water next to the electronics, there is no rule about it, and you didn't know what was coming, and you threw a roll of toilet paper at you before you could brace yourself. I do find that you're liable for that, but for the $755, okay? Okay. And I guess I'll see you folks again on the second half of this case. Good luck.
Thank you.
And don't trash me on the morning show because I'm going to be listening.
The defendant, Scary Jones, has lost the first half of this case. Comes out of the hallway clutching his toilet paper. What's your reaction to this verdict?
Well, frankly, I'm disgusted because Caroline and I have been friends for 5 years. We always go out to dinner. We always hang out. It's all good fun. We always joke around with each other. And now...
You sound like friends on the air, but
Yeah.
what's going on now?
Well, now I'm going to have to rethink my friendship with her, I got to be honest.
Well, won't that affect the atmosphere on the hilarious morning show?
No, once the lights are on and the cameras are rolling and everything, all is good with the world, but won't be that way when the lights go off.
Okay, I feel you. Right down that way, and let's see what the plaintiff has to say about this. You just follow Scary right that way. Big smile from Miss Bermudez here. What's going through your mind?
Well, I'm a little disappointed in his reaction and the things that he said. It has definitely affected our friendship. You know, I use this computer for all of my work, and it's unfortunate that I'm the one that has to suffer because he acts like a...
Don't you have to be buddy with your morning show compatriots there?
We do, but I'm very good at pretending. So right now, until this gets resolved, I think that, you know, we'll pretend to be friends, but he said some really mean things about me, so.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about the data recovery part? Will we see you back here? You going after him?
Absolutely. I want to get all of my video files back, my pictures, everything that's on there. It's priceless to me. So yes, definitely, you will see me back.
Stay tuned for part 2. Harvey?
So here's the thing. If there were stated rules in there that you couldn't have water for obvious reasons, then maybe it would have been 50-50 liability. But in this case, he screwed up. Sorry about that. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Stephen Carhart. He says his mom's good friend lived in his condo for about a year and has stiffed him on a sewer bill and damaged his door. He really can't understand why a family friend would act the way she's acting, but money sometimes has a strange way of coming between friends. He's suing for $516.25, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Patricia Schiavo. She says she made a deal to rent the plaintiff's apartment with his mother, not him. He was in jail at the time and had no involvement in the renting of his condo. As far as the sewer bill goes, she's not responsible for paying that. She was just a renter, not the owner, so sorry, Charlie. She's accused of taking advantage of a friend.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Did you ever tell her she had to be secretive?
I was aware of the fact that if anybody were to ask me, you know, who I am, and
I'm just his aunt visiting.
exactly, his aunt.
Okay, so
His
everybody's
aunt.
in on the scam.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says his mom's friend lived in a condo and stiffed him on a sewer bill and some other stuff. Now the defendant says the deal she had was with his mom. The dude was in jail. It's the case of sewer. He hardly knew her.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Mr. Carhart, you are suing your mom's friend or former friend, Ms. Schiavo, for $516.25 that you say she owes you for damaging your place and for a sewer bill because you rented out your apartment to her, correct?
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
I was gone for 3 years, and for those 3 years that I was gone, I own a condo in Galloway Township. So for those 3 years, my mortgage is very low. I rented my condo out, not for 3 years, but for majority of the part, for nothing extra, just what the mortgage was, $557 a month for a 2-bedroom, which is very cheap. And she lived there, everything was fine, and but she installed a screen door in front of the main door. So when she left, she took it with her, and when she took it with her, she ripped it off the hinges. I'm the owner of the condo, so I was actually the landlord. I have the pictures.
But you're not the one who made the arrangements for her to live there, right?
No, I couldn't do that.
Your mom did.
Right.
And how did it come to pass that she was no longer going to live there?
Well, I have a special mortgage where I'm not supposed to be renting the condo, and she went to get a pool pass and basically unraveled the whole thing, and they found out I was renting it. So they said, by October 1st, I have to move back in. So the end of September, she moved out. I moved in October 1st.
So she ruined the good deal.
Right. For some reason, I get lower taxes, I get lower association dues, as long as I'm the owner and the tenant of the condo. The association found out, due to her going to get a pool pass, that she...
Did you ever tell her she had to be secretive?
I was aware of the fact that if anybody were to ask me, who I am, and
I'm just his aunt visiting.
Exactly, his aunt.
Okay, so
His
everybody's
aunt.
in on the scam. All right, now,
His
but
aunt.
according to you, now why is it that he's renting the place out? According to you, he's missing for 3 years because he's in prison. Is
Well,
that
I
true
don't
or not
know.
true?
Yeah, I was in prison.
Okay, what were you in prison for?
Drugs.
Okay, but 3 years is a long time. Trafficking?
Yeah, I got manufacturing, distribution, possession.
What was the drug?
Crack cocaine.
Okay. Interesting. You were manufacturing it yourself?
No, it's just because when they found it, it was already in rock form, so you automatically get manufacturing, as if it was in powder form.
And you spent 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You came out just about the same time that she's trying to get a pool pass?
Yeah, it was pretty convenient.
Pretty convenient.
I
Okay.
came out wanting to move back in my condo anyway, and she actually made it perfect.
Now, so you moved back in, and your complaint is twofold. That there was a storm door, and she took it with her. Was it her storm door or your storm door?
It was her storm door.
Mine,
She
Your
installed.
Honor.
But you say that when she takes it with her, it leaves damage behind. Show me
Yeah.
the pictures.
Got it.
Because when you're trying to work this out with her, you're willing to accept $140, and when that doesn't happen, now it's a $500 problem.
Well, I
or
have
a $250
Can I give you the estimate for the door to
problem.
be fixed and everything too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Honor, UPS was the one that actually reattached the door because it flew off because of a package that was left, and the door couldn't close all the way, so the wind blew it open.
Right.
And I called UPS, and they came, and they had a contractor put it back on, but they used bolts which were a little bit bigger than what I
Sure,
had
because if you
originally
rip
used.
something out of the hole, and you have to reattach it, you're going to have to use something fatter or longer or something
Correct.
to try to keep it there. But then that's done, and the door's fine, but then you're leaving. So you want to take the store. What was there beforehand? Was there a different door there? Nothing. Okay, and that's fine. I mean, the problem is what's left behind when you take it with you, as opposed to just leaving it there.
Okay, UPS came and reattached the door. Now, when Stephen first called me that said he wanted money, he wanted $150, I said, Stephen, I'll help you file a claim against UPS.
But I don't understand. UPS came, fixed it, reattached the door, and they went on their way. Why is it UPS's fault?
Well, when they reattached it, the screws were much bigger, and I believe that made
Well,
a
I
larger
understand,
hole.
but I don't care if the screw is small or big. It's still a hole. Whether it's a hole that's this many millimeters or that many millimeters, it's a hole.
They're willing to repair it for Stephen for free, and I told Stephen that. Why would I give you money, Stephen, when they'll go and repair it?
Well, did that get done?
No, because he wanted the money. It could have gotten done a long time ago.
But okay, did the UPS was willing to send
Absolutely, I have a letter
Wait, listen
here.
to my question. The contractor a second time?
Correct.
Do you have something from that contractor?
Yes, I do.
Why didn't he just take care of it when he went the second time? Because he wouldn't let him?
Because this is Steven's place now, and I have to get Steven's permission.
Did you know
Can I say
that
something?
somebody was going to fix it?
No one knew anything about the door till October 1st when I moved in.
I understand, but you're saying you got something from UPS after October, after he moved in, right?
No.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
that is what she's
I
saying.
told him that on the telephone, that I would help him with UPS.
November 26th. This fax confirms my visit to look at a door problem upon initial call from UPS, which left a package in the storm door, which blew open and pulled 4 small screws out of the jamb. We installed new, longer screws, and door was working when we left. On November 25th, we went back to the site after a call from the previous tenant, that would be her, and found storm door removed. To fix the metal left, we would install 4 screws into the existing holes and put 2 coats of paint over the metal where the paint is missing. The problem is that this thing is all dented. How would that fix it, putting 4 screws?
May I say something, Ms.
Yeah.
No one was even notified when this happened until I moved in October and noticed it myself. There was no mention, even if they called UPS, why not tell the landlord that it happened? And I mean, something you install, a permanent fixture in somewhere you live, can you even take it with you when you do leave?
Yeah, you can. You can, and then you just have to leave it in exactly the position it was in beforehand.
Right, when that's
But if you don't, then you got to pay to fix it and put it in the position it was in beforehand. What is it going to cost to repair the door jamb? Either replace or repair the door jamb. I don't know that it can be repaired, frankly.
I have the estimate.
Did he ever offer to you to settle for a lesser amount?
Towards the end, he maybe a week before I was supposed to appear here, Your Honor, he did say that he would take an extra 20 off if I would just give him the cash.
How much cash?
130.
Okay, but he's asking now for 256. Okay, how did it go from 130 to or 140 to 256?
The problem is, like, really, I don't know, you guys are the only ones that got the jaws of life tight enough to open up her wallet. Like, she won't pay anything. She just got a settlement her own. It's not like she can cry poor. She has plenty of money. All I want
How do
is
you know
door
she got a
fixed.
settlement?
Ask her.
No, how do you know is my
Because
question.
she's good. She was very good friends with my mother. My mother just told me, Patty's doing well.
So you think that because she has money, let me get, wait, I want to
no,
get
I just mean there's no reason you
wait,
can
wait,
cry
wait, wait, I
poor.
want to get it exactly the way you said it on your complaint.
Joe the plumber could have settled this. Will the plaintiff get more than $500? Judge Millian rules next. So should the fact that this guy spent 3 years in prison for selling crack cocaine affect his credibility in this case?
No, he did his time. You make a mistake in life, you should get a second chance, and your past mistakes shouldn't be held.
You're nodding?
Sometimes that affects them. I'm a landlord, and you have to.
But should the judge consider it? Should the judge consider it?
No way, no, of course not. I don't think he should.
I got it. Going inside the courtroom.
She has tons of money she can pay for the store. She just doesn't want to. She has no kids, is 100 years old, and has a great job. She can't cry poverty.
Exactly.
That's a little rude.
Oh my God.
And you look fabulous, honey, and she's not 100 years old. And
I haven't been rude the whole time. I was cursed out by her when the first call that I said, and I called her, where she just screamed and ranted and raved, and all I wanted her to do was fix the door.
Okay,
That's
but
all
it doesn't. The fact that you're angry doesn't make a door cost $100 more. I'm just asking you to justify
No,
where you get.
I just gave
I'm
the
still waiting.
estimate.
What is it?
Did I give it to you? The estimate?
No. I keep telling you that you didn't, and
Yeah,
you keep shuffling papers, and then.
I gave it to you. Oh, here you go. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. He's going to walk out of here and say, that judge is 100. She's crazy. She doesn't know what it is she's doing. Apparently, I was right. Okay, thank you. $150. But then where does it come up to $256? I'm still asking you. Okay, you can't answer me. I've asked you 3 times. I don't have the patience to keep waiting. All right, now, you're asking for lost wages. That's because you're angry. And now the sewer bill, and let's talk about that. There's a sewer bill that he says you haven't paid, which covers what months?
The last 3 months that she was there.
Which are what months?
July, August, and September. I have an email from her saying, if you want to take it.
Yes, I do.
I
And then
also
according
have-
to you, did you pay July, August, and September?
Your Honor, yes, I did, and I
Okay.
have a receipt.
Let me see your receipt.
I paid up until September, 5th, and I was leaving on the 30th, and his mother said, for the 20 days, just don't worry about it. You pay, it's 6 months in advance. And
Yeah,
I was,
but why it's 6 months in advance? Is usually January to June, June to December. Like, how is
No,
it that
this
September?
this ended in September. It was from April to September. That's with the
Okay,
period.
do you have the bill that says it's from April to September? You have a
No,
payment.
but I'm sure he has the bill that.
Yes, he does. And the bill he has is $285 for the entire year. That means it's $23.70. This is simple. It's $23.75 for a month. Okay.
Correct.
Now, if you paid $142.50, which is what this is the only check you paid, right? And if you pay $142.50, then you have paid 6 months. That means you paid
Correct.
January through June, and he would be right that you owe July, August, and September.
Your Honor, my bill had different dates on it. and
Okay,
I'm
well,
sorry
but
I
unless you're going
cannot
to show it
prove
to me,
that.
we're not going to keep talking about your
Okay.
bill. And I'm going to order you to pay him the $71.25. Well, how do you get $130?
I don't know.
Okie dokie.
I mean, maybe I
I
don't
find
know.
it, I don't even want to know. I find in your favor in the amount of the $150 to repair the damage. You should, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you guys can't communicate and talk about how UPS is going to fix it, or if you do and he says, I don't want UPS to fix it because look at the way they left it. No, forget it. I want my own guy to fix it. He has a right to that. So you can't just leave the apartment damaged like that. As you have to make it right, and you should have made it right before you left with the UPS guy if you could have made it right for free. But when you don't, he's entitled to what it's going to cost him to make it right in the way he chooses to make it right, so long as it's reasonable. I find $150 reasonable. I find that you owe July, August, and September for the sewer bill, and that's $71.25. So I find in his favor in the amount of $221.25.
What about the
That's my
130?
verdict. What about the what?
The 130 for
In
work.
lost wages?
Today
Eat
I'd
it.
be at work,
Eat
but
it.
I'm here.
Eat it.
Here, I have a chance to express yourself about the outcome of the case right here. Come on in right over here and tell me what's your reaction to the verdict here coming in. It's okay.
It's just.
It's all right. You don't have to go. You don't have to run out.
You gotta go.
Okay. All right, come on in here and step in. What's your feeling on the outcome here? Turn around here.
Well, I'm really sorry that I did lose because I know that I have paid every bill that was ever due by me. So, unfortunately, I
Now,
didn't.
weren't you and his mom friends?
Very good friends.
What happened there
Well,
as a result of all this?
after he was threatening me, I was one step from calling the police, and that's when I called his mom, saying that maybe perhaps she could, talk some sense into
Hurry
it.
up. We don't have a lot of time here. Come on. What
Talk some
happened?
sense into it. And she said that she told him to drop it, and that she finds
Are
it
you
hard
still
to
friends?
believe. No, sorry, we're not.
Harvey?
So here's the deal. You can consider the fact that this guy did prison time for that, for selling crack cocaine, in terms of his credibility, because it does have an impact on it, but the fact is, this guy proved his case. And P.S., you call the judge a he.
No.
Take it back. Take it back.
I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna take it back.
Take it back one more time.
I'm gonna take it back one more time. The judge is a she. She's a beautiful she. I'm sorry. Sorry, Judge.
Accepted. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Kathleen Kelly. She says the defendant was changing her windshield wipers and cracked her windshield in the process. 9 weeks have gone by, and she's been more than patient waiting for him to step up and fix it for her. But no, she has to take him to court and have the judge tell him what he did was wrong, and that he owes her the $223.63 she's suing for. This is the defendant, Tony Lofredo. He says he tried to help the plaintiff out and did her a favor by changing her wiper blades. Unfortunately, the person who installed the old ones did it wrong, and when he popped the hood, her windshield got cracked slightly. He isn't liable for anything because he wasn't getting paid by her and can't believe he's being sued. He's accused of not knowing what he's doing.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Who's the gentleman who's with you?
Witness, Gonzalez, my fiance.
Your fiance, okay, because you hadn't started talking yet and he was already going to hit your elbow like to tell you, to correct you or do something, but he caught himself.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant was changing her windshield wipers and cracked her windshield. And the defendant claims he was doing her a favor and says the culprit is the guy who installed the windshield originally. It's the case of Wipe My Windshield.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Kathleen Kelly, you are suing Tony Lofredo and his auto company. Is it an auto repair company?
Yes.
Okay. For $223.63, the cost to replace a windshield that, according to you, he broke, correct?
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
Around August 20th, I took my car to him to install the windshield.
Who's the gentleman who's with you?
Witness, Gonzalez, my fiance.
Your fiance, okay, because
Yes.
you hadn't started talking yet and he was already going to hit your elbow like to tell you, to correct you or do something, but he caught himself. Go ahead.
Okay. Around August 20th, I took my car to Tony frwd to install windshield wipers on my car.
Okay.
While doing so, he damaged my windshield.
And how much are you paying him to do that?
I only paid like $2 or $3 for the windshield wipers.
Okay, so he was
Because
installing them for
yes,
free?
because I knew him through a mutual friend. He was doing it as a favor.
Oh, he was doing it as a favor?
Yes.
Look where we are. What happened? What was wrong with her wipers?
Your Honor, her windshield wiper was wedged underneath the hood. So the problem was, when I went to install the new wipers, which I was doing as a favor, you know, I have no bill or anything to her, it had snapped.
Why were you doing it as a favor, just out of curiosity?
She works in front of the store where I work.
Okay.
You know, my business is right behind the auto parts store.
Okay.
So they asked, can you do a favor? I said, okay, so
Oh, so
I
you didn't
do
even
it.
sell her the wipers. She got the wipers
She
from her
bought the
job, and then she
wipers,
just came over and said, put these
exactly.
on for me, and then
Yeah.
here you are in people's court. Okay, go on.
And when I went to replace the wiper, because it was wedged like that, it sprung and made a little crack in the bottom of the windshield. And eventually it spread. Within days, it would spread
Yeah.
higher and higher.
Now, okay, when this happened, I mean, if the thing was wedged, I guess in retrospect, it would have been a much better idea to have someone, while you're opening the hood, someone holding the wiper, right?
Well, maybe, yes.
Well, because then we could stop it from snapping and cracking the windshield, right?
Yes, but it was an accident, Your Honor.
Oh, I know. I didn't do it on purpose. You're doing the lady a favor.
Yes.
I get it. But since it did happen and the windshield is cracked, then what did you say to her once the windshield was cracked? By the way, did you tell her about the crack?
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you tell her about the crack?
Exactly as soon as she had pulled off with the car, I had told her when she came right back that the windshield had got
When
cracked.
wait a minute. What do you mean? As soon as she had pulled off with the car, I told her when she came right back. Well, did he tell you about the crack?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
I actually was pulling out of the parking lot. While pulling out of the parking lot, I had noticed a crack in my windshield.
So then you drove back.
I drove back
And so
to
you're telling
him.
me, yeah, I told her after she
When
told
I
me.
brought it to his attention and told
So
him he
you,
had cracked
you told
my
her
windshield.
after she told you? After she pointed it
Well-
out to you, then you said, oh, yeah.
Who's going to get wiped out to the tune of $223? Judge Millian rules next. So is this dude responsible for the windshield?
Yes, absolutely, he's responsible.
Is he?
Yes, he is, but she should be nice enough to give him half a.
You did her a favor.
Exactly, as a favor. Come on, be nice.
What I'm saying. What do you think?
He's responsible.
He's responsible. He's responsible, and he better go to Huss Point, the Bronx, get a brand new windshield, and put it in that car.
Going inside the courtroom.
Your Honor, I didn't actually realize that it had happened until she had brought it back. Because it was only like this high at the point. And now, of course, it's spread.
You didn't hear the snap? Because you would sort of, there's this very distinct sound to the cracking of glass.
That, but it was just a small, like this.
So you didn't tell her about the small thing before she drove off? You were hoping she wouldn't notice?
No, I had told her when she came back, and I explained to her.
Why didn't you tell her before she left?
At the time, I just was in a rush. I was doing other jobs and, going
What
back
is
and
what
forth.
is your position, Mr. Lafredo, as to why it is that you don't owe her a new windshield? Tell me your position.
Well, Your Honor, I did it as a favor, and I had offered her to get her windshield at my cost, which is cheaper than what she would have to pay anyplace else and have it installed. And it was done as a favor.
Okay. So essentially your position is it was done as a favor. I was being a nice guy, so how can I get sued? And he says that he offered to you to sell you the windshield at cost to him, which would be a savings to you, and the cost would be what?
It was $170.
All right, and you feel that that's not good enough
No, Your
because
Honor.
you didn't break it.
No, Your Honor.
All right, but at one point, did you offer to him something to resolve this?
Your Honor, I went to him a couple of times, stated to him that I would go half and half.
Is that true?
She had offered me $50 towards it.
Okay.
I told him I would go 100 with him, and he could pay the other 100. I've told him when I went back to him the last day that I finally went and got the police report, I told him that I was going to...
Police report?
Yeah, the incident report, yes.
Over what? Over the cracking of the windshield?
Yes, because this
That's
way...
just you telling the police this is what happened and they put it in a report? Your
Yes.
police have a lot of time on their hands. Where are you from?
Highland Park. I went down to police.
Jersey?
Piscataway. Jersey.
Okay. All right, look, here's the thing. I understand how you feel that this is sort of unfair because no good deed goes unpunished and nice guys finish last and any other cliche I can throw at you right now, I understand.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, according to the eyes of the law, even if you undertake to do something for free for somebody, you have to do it with a certain duty of care. And, from what you're describing to me, I'm not sure that's the greatest duty of care. If you see that the thing is wedged underneath the hood and then you open up the hood and then the thing snaps, I'm putting to aside the whole issue of not having brought it to her attention and hoping she didn't notice. I'm just saying the job itself, was it done with the right duty of care? If she was a paying customer, there's no question you'd be replacing the windshield. The fact that she's not a paying customer doesn't change that legally. So I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the full amount of the $223.63. I doubt intensely you'll be doing too many more favors for people in the area. I hope that you don't get too big a sour note on this one, but good luck to both of you. Thank you.
Here's the defendant coming out here. Let's see what he has to say about losing this case. Come on in here. It was quick and it was to the point.
Yep, guess it was.
Yeah, you offered how much?
I offered to give her a new windshield at the cost.
Which was what?
$170.
All right, $170. Yeah. She just won $223 in court. $50. That's what this was about. Why'd you fight this?
Well, what I'm trying to explain to you, the cost. I was going to charge her $170 at my cost.
Okay, head right down that way, and he offered you $170, right?
No, Your Honor.
I am?
No, he never offered me anything. I had to fight this. I had told him I was going to go half and half with him, and he never did anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, all my doing.
All right, so you satisfied how this comes out now?
Yes.
Okay, Harvey.
So, there is this Good Samaritan law where you actually rescue somebody for injury where you're not responsible, but that ain't the case here.
The People's Court is a Ralph Edwards, Stu Billett production.